What's up, guys? It's Christian here, and today I'll be doing some analysis on the Liverpool versus Crystal Palace game, and I'll tell you why I believe Liverpool played well and what Crystal Palace did as well. So, Liverpool won 2-0 against Crystal Palace on Monday night. Milner and Sadio Mane got the goals for Liverpool, and obviously Crystal Palace scored 0, so nobody scored for them. And this was a very tight game. If you watched the game, Crystal Palace had a very, very good strategy and staying very compact and not letting Liverpool make runs and get Salah like on the wings and stuff and like making creative runs and stuff like that. They were really compact and really forced Liverpool to play a different play style than they're typically used to, and that's why you see Milner scored a penalty in the 45th minute, where some people are very used to seeing Liverpool score within the first, 15 minutes or so. So I believe Crystal Palace had the, best strategy to stop us. If for a team that doesn't have the same amount of talent, that's probably the best strategy to stop Liverpool or contain them as much as you can. And they did it, and they did give up 2 goals, but they did have the right strategy, at least in my opinion. So if you look at the stats, we had 63% possession to their 37. So I expected that going into the game. I believed we would have most possession. Now, did I believe Crystal Palace would play that type of, idea of how to defend us? No, not at all. But either way, I did expect us to have 60-ish, 65% possession. So I wasn't surprised by that at all. We had 16 shots, 6 on target. They had 8 and 2 on target. The best chance they had was the cut in by Andrews Townsend off a Naby Keita mistake. He was trying to pass it back to, I believe, Virgil van Dijk, and there was no connection there. And then Crystal Palace intercepted the ball, and he had a driving shot that dipped down, but it unfortunately went and hit the crossbar. So me watching that game, I was getting a little uptight and nervous because that chance occurred and we weren't really creating a lot of good chances at that point. But turns out we scored 2 goals, but that was much later in the game. And another great chance was the Milivojevic free kick that was from the right side of the 18. That was in the second half, and Alisson made a, routine save for him. But, for most goalies, there's De Gea, who's got 10 shots on target or 14 shots on target and 10 goals so far since the Spain World Cup. So, but for Alisson, he made some great saves in the game, and he wasn't really tested in the first game against West Ham, but Crystal Palace was a little bit better and tested him a little bit, but he, got a clean sheet, which is great for us because we're not so used to that with Karius and Mignolet from last year at least. And the controversial penalty in the 45th minute was a ball from Roberto Firmino to Mohamed Salah, and he turned on Mohamed Sakho. And if you look at the highlights, he did clip him. Now, did he dive a little bit? Maybe, but there still was enough contact to, call a penalty because he did clip his leg and he fell. Yes, did he flop a little? Sure, but there was enough contact to, award the penalty. And in doing that, Milner put it into the right bottom corner, which Crystal Palace booed, not only because they didn't agree with the penalty, but earlier in the game, he and Wilfried Zaha got into a little tussle, and Zaha, grabbed his neck, which they should suspend him for, in my opinion, but they probably won't because they don't really care. Anyway, and then in the second half, it got a little bit better, and, Crystal Palace had to, change their strategy a little bit because you're down a goal, and their strategy kind of was, in some ways, to get a point or maybe luckily get a counterattack and Benteke or Zaha score, but they had to change their strategy or else they were going to just lose a game 1-0, and what's the point of losing 1-0? You might as well go, instead of it being 1-0 and just sitting tight, you might as well take your chances and gamble on 2-0 instead. They mean the same thing. I guess the goal differential means a little bit, in the second game of the season, that doesn't mean a lot. And that's kind of what happened, and that's kind of part of the reason why the second goal occurred. But before that even, we had breaks just up and down the field, and some of them were chances that probably, the ones I'm talking about are the Salah chances. Earlier in the first half, he crossed one, and it went under the roof of that, I think. But he got a great touch, but then the second touch was the shot, and it obviously just didn't go in. And then the second one was the one where he was running down, and I forget which Crystal Palace player it was, but the ball got deflected, and he had to sprint down to the end line, and he kept it in. And then I think Naby Keita like kind of scuffed the shot, and it went wide of the goal. Now, if he got good contact, he's probably scoring his debut goal. He also had another good chance, Naby Keita, earlier in the first half, where the ball got to him on the left side off another Mohamed Salah shot that got deflected, and he just didn't get very good contact. It did. I think it either got a corner or Hennessy saved it. And Hennessy's another great goalie who's had a great start to the season as well. And then the final chance, which turned to be the second goal, was off a Virgil van Dijk header that got a clearance off the Crystal Palace corner. This was in the 92nd, 93rd minute, I believe. And Mane just ran down the field and just got past the keeper. They were going to actually call advantage. I don't know if there would have been a penalty, but there was some contact there, and he just got past the keeper and slotted it in. So that's a lot of what happened in the second half, which is why Crystal Palace gave up the second goal. Obviously, the right back got the red card off the tackle on Mohamed Salah, which that's just a completely correct call, because he was stopping a goal-scoring chance, because 9 times out of 10, Mohamed Salah's finishing that, and he was going to, and he brought him down. And I think they saved it off that that free kick, which was right outside the 18. So a lot to look good for actually both teams, honestly, because Crystal Palace, they're going to be a tough team to play all year. Selhurst Park is, as you could tell, it was tough for Liverpool, and Liverpool's probably going to be the second best team, maybe even the first, fingers crossed. But anyway, they're going to be a tough place to play at, and I expect even some top 6 teams to lose points there. They're going to either draw or even lose games, because Zaha's a top 20 player in the Prem, probably. He's been won by big clubs since last year, even before that, and he's signed till I believe 2023. And teams are just not going to play comfortably like we did against West Ham at Selhurst Park. It was shown easily throughout the entire game. Even after we scored the first goal, it was not an easy game. We were relying on Andrew Robertson, and I believe Trent Alexander-Arnold probably had the most touches, because they were just forcing them to have the ball, and they weren't letting Salah, Firmino, and Mane create chances just off of them having the ball in space. It just didn't happen. There was not a lot of space for them, and that's just great strategy from Crystal Palace. So I expect top 6 teams to lose, especially Man United, who just loses consistently right now, or just plays bad anyway. They're probably going to drop points there. Who knows? Somebody else, I hope Man City does, but who knows? Maybe they will, maybe they won't. And then for Liverpool, if you can play in a different style and still win, and have your front 3 not necessarily play their greatest game, that's good for us, because that just shows that we can play different ways and still win consistently. And if we want to do that, we're going to have to beat teams other than the top 6. Not only will we have to beat the top 6, we're going to also have to beat these lower teams. Not saying anything against Crystal Palace. They're probably going to finish in the top 10, the upper half of the top 10. But still, we're going to have to win games to stay close to Man City, which I believe we can. So, next up for Liverpool, we have Brighton, I believe, at home. Hopefully, we get them 3 points at Anfield, hopefully. And we won both games last year, so I expect a lot of the same things, and hopefully maybe Naby Keita gets his debut goal. Fabinho hasn't been in the squad. Hopefully he might get a debut. And who knows, maybe Shaqiri scores, Sturridge scores, or Salah, Firmino. Hopefully Firmino gets on the mark and just gets 3 points to stay with Man City. So this is what I believe did well for not only Crystal Palace but also Liverpool. And please let me know what you like in the comments below. Tell me what kind of videos you want me to make, and please like and subscribe, and just let me know what you want me to talk about.